Hello amigos, come on stand. My name is Dan and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Chivas versus NECAXA, game number 2 of the new series. And yeah, it wasn't a good game. Lots to talk about in this game, to be honest with you. First of all, we're going to go into the starting lineup. A couple of new debuts. Just to report, obviously Cabreras getting another chance up top, but also Dragon Garcia getting his debut for Chivas first team in goal. Those of you guys that watch my videos regularly will know that all about Dragon Garcia. I've been raving and ranting about him for a long time now, in a good way, obviously. He's killing it in Tapatio over the last year or two, and I think he's won trophies at every single youth level for Chivas. So absolutely wonderful to see him get his debut. Shame how it turned out. We'll go into that in a minute, but. On a side note for him, obviously it must have been an amazing moment for him getting his debut. Obviously Talas with the Mexican national team right now, as he should be. Started and played, I think, a game with them recently. I think they got a clean sheet in that game, which is cool. So Talas performing well with the first team, with the national team, should I say. So then it left Wally, and obviously Oscar Wally was down as going to be starting this game, but obviously he got injured. I think in the warm up or just before the last training, I'm not quite sure, but he got injured before the game, so it was just pretty much Dragon Garcia as the third choice keeper to go in and get his debut, which is absolutely fantastic for him. Like I said, for me, I think it should be Tyler and Garcia as goalkeepers. I think Oscar Wallace should be moved on for his sake as well as for ours. And yeah, it's just a shame how it went. Obviously the result didn't go as according to plan. Also, we'll talk about Diego Ochoa as well. I'm pretty sure it's his debut, but if not, he hasn't played many games for Chivas first team. He's got his first start, I think it was. Sorry. For Chivas, which is absolutely amazing. And obviously the player that I like as well, Mateo Chavez, getting his first start this season as well. I said last game that it would have been cool to see him off the bench, and he's starting this game, so it was awesome to see that. Very inexperienced backline though. Obviously, Pierce was in there. I think he did really well. Tiba Sepulveda did really well as well. Obviously, he scored the first goal, which is awesome. Which is cool. To be fair, I think with Pierce, we haven't really missed Chiquete all that much, to be honest with you. I think he stepped in that point and done quite well. But still a very inexperienced backline with Chavez and Diego Ochoa. I'm pretty sure Diego Ochoa played right back for most of this game. Obviously bringing on Luis Rey as well. And Gomez as well. So, yeah, overall, very inexperienced back line. Obviously, we don't have Mozo right back yet. So, yeah, it's pretty inexperienced back line. I think that's what was one of our weaknesses in this game. Into the midfield as well. I mean, I haven't said that. Also, the midfield was experienced also, and Guti in the midfield, but both kind of defensively minded midfielders, in my opinion. Although Guti does come out with a goal every blue moon. I think our midfield's the one that kind of let us down in this game, to be honest with you. And like I said, Cabreras are up top with Alvarado as well I think he started the game as a number 10. Had a quiet game, Piojo. We'll talk about him in a minute. Also, obviously, Chicharito up top. His first start for a long time. Good to see him back. Apparently, he missed last game because of a suspension. I thought he was injured, but obviously not. And obviously, Red Beltran as well. And I don't know. The midfield for me, I think, is where we lost this game. We did end up losing 3-2. Very disappointing. But I think it's a game of two halves. I think the first half we did pretty well, to be honest with you. 0-0 at half time. I think Dragon did well. I think he made a couple of good saves. Just again, not really any kind of threat going forward for Chivas right now. Chicharito, I think, had a poor game. He was offside a couple of times. Piojo, he's our best player right now, and I think if he has a poor game, then the whole team has a poor game, especially offensively. But we did have a solid first half, I think. It was very much the plan, I think, to go at least level into the half time and then go at them a little bit more after the break. It didn't really work out that way. I think overall, we only had about 4 shots on target or 2 shots on target. 6 shots in total. Like, it tells you, if you go into the stats of this game, they had double the amount of shots and triple, I think, the amount of shots on target. So, I think they had 6 shots on target and they scored 3 of them. So that tells you everything you need to know about this game. And lack of finishing right now. We are missing Pocho. I know Pocho is a bit of a scapegoat for a lot of people, but I think he offers us something an attack that I think we would have benefited from this game. We've still got Pulido to come back. Still got his debut. I think this game is crying out for Pulido. And go 3-0 down. Get Pavel Perez. I mean, everybody saw that one coming. Maybe not the first goal, but everyone saw him scoring in this game. It's just because ex-Chivas players seem to do well against Chivas right now. I don't know why. Obviously, Mayorga was in their team as well, but everyone knew that Pavel was going to score. I was talking to my mate about it on Twitter, and he's like, bet you he's going to score, and that's like, mate, it's a given. So that one went in, and obviously that's the trouble, man. We go 1-0 down. It's like we don't really have an answer. And then obviously they scored 2 more goals. We got one back. We scored the first goal, should I say? We went 1-0 up, should I say? But we never looked likely to hold on to it. They were peppering us quite a lot. Once they went 1-0, 1-1, once they equalised, we kind of folded. And then the second goal went in, the third goal went in, 3-1 down. Obviously, Pierre got a consolation goal for a penalty, like 98th minute or something. But yeah, 3-2, still not a good look. I think a draw would have been alright with us, I think. But we just had nothing going up front. And then, obviously, the backlash. Oscar Garcia getting a lot of criticism this game. At the time, I thought this is a little bit out of hand. This is second game for Chivas. For God's sake, give the guy some slack. But I've looked at it a little bit more, and his in-game management sucked in this game. His substitutions were a little bit off. Bringing Padilla on was all good with me. Defensively, I think once you conceded 3 goals, yeah, you want to kind of make 1 or 2 defensive subs, but like I said, he brought on Gomez. He took off Gomez, should I say? We brought on Luis Ray, and you're thinking, well, we're already 3-0 down. Like, we should be trying to score goals, trying to be offensive, and try and get a couple of goals each as well, so that we can draw this game at least. Marion sat on the bench, Kay Cal sat on the bench, and Teo Milka sat on the bench. None of them came on. For me, the obvious one would have been taking off Chicharito and bringing on Teon in place, like he did in the first game. Brought Teon on, and he's changed the game for us. I'm really surprised Chicharito started this game. I don't think he should be starting games, period. I think Chicharito should be coming off the bench. I think he'd be much more effective, him being fully fit and ready to go compared to a tired defence. Really surprised. I really wanted Teon to start this game. I think he earned it from last game. Really surprised he didn't come on at all. Especially Marin as well. Pre-season he seemed to like Marin a lot. Obviously took Marin off in the first game and brought Wilker on, and Wilker changed the game. Very surprised as well. Keiko, I don't think has played a single minute. I can't remember the first game, but I'm pretty sure he hasn't played a single minute under Garcia in the league yet. Very interesting about that. There are rumours that Keiko could be sold. Maybe the club said, look, Keiko's a cash machine right now. Maybe we sell him to a team in Europe for a decent amount of money. Maybe double our transfer budget or whatever. I don't know, but he doesn't like Keiko for some reason. I don't really know. It'd be interesting to see, to be honest with you, in the third game what happens. But yeah, Teo Milka not coming on, Marin not coming on for Chicharito is baffling for me. Chicharito is quite plainly, at the hour mark, not going to score in this game. I don't know why you wouldn't want to bring a new attacker on, bring a new striker on. Very strange decisions. Hopefully Oscar's learned some lessons from this game, because we can't be losing to NECAXA, even away from home. It's a game we should have won. If we'd won that, we would have been quite high up on the table. A lot of other teams have slipped up in this game, in this week, should I say. It would be nice to capitalise on that, but obviously, it is what it is. Rival fans are going to laugh at Chivas for every time they lose a game. Fair enough. It's game 2, so I'm not completely overreacting. But there's glaring errors in this game from Oscar Garcia in particular that he needs to address going forward. Start Teo Wilker or start Marin. One of those two. Until Pulido's fit and ready to go. Pulido for me should be starting. Maybe not the first game back. I think he earns his right back, but never ever start Chicharito. Don't start Chicharito. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, ah. Unless he scores quite early in the game, he's not going to score. He just doesn't have the legs for it anymore. So yeah, lessons to be learned. I'm not gonna go, crazy about it. It is a loss. It's disappointing. It's embarrassing, even, especially with Pavel scoring against us. But we move on, and it's gonna be a tough game as well. We've got Tigres at home for game three, and they've won both of their games at the top of the league right now. So they look like they're a decent team again. Last season they were trash, in my opinion, along with America, and America still won it. So tells you everything you need to know about the last tournament. But this time, Tigres look on point. America seem to be slipping up a little bit. Toluca is kind of again in and around the top three, which is nice for them, I guess. Alexis Vega scoring 2 goals, incidentally for them in their I think in their first game, which is cool for them. But yeah, tough game. This is gonna be tough, and Garcia's gonna get a baptism of fire in this game. I know it's at home, and we do relatively quite well against Tigres at home, compared to away anyway. But yeah, it's a hugely tough game. He needs to get his starting 11 right. He needs to get his substitutions right as well. So yeah, not really ideal. We should have won this game against NECAXA, and then look at the 2 wins, and then go into the Tigres game with a little bit more flexibility. But now it's all on us to win it, and we have to win it. To be honest with you, if we want to stay in the playoff zones, or if we want to get into the gear, which is obviously the ultimate ambition for every Chivas fan. So yeah, at the moment, eighth in the table. We would have been, I think, third or fourth if we'd won this game. So yeah, lessons to be learned, and yeah, we go against Tigres. Go again against Tigres in the weekend. Let me know in the comments what do you think about Dragon. I think it was hugely unfair that he conceded 3 goals in his first Chivas game. I mean, it sucks. I've been raving about this kid, and this kid's so good, man. He's so good. But that's the downside. I said to all my friends on Twitter and Facebook as well, and privately as well. I said, look, we're introducing, eight players that are under the age of 22, 23 into this first team this season. I mean, really, really are going through a generational shift right now. We are, especially in our back line, we've got a heck of a lot of defenders, really young defenders debuting for us in the last 2 games. There is a downside to that, is that they don't have experience, and this is the kind of result that you kind of expect. Arsene Wenger said it. When you start kids in the first 11, when you introduce them, obviously the long term, you sacrifice the short term for the long term. The long term is you develop players that will end up being really, really good players. The short term is that they will cost you points in the short term because they're not experienced yet. That's the whole point of starting them in the first place. So we have to kind of take this with a grain of salt. I think that we are going to see some results like this, or we may not get Legia this season. As devastating as that is, it's possible. And I think, for me personally, if we're not going to make Legia, I at least want to be able to say, well, we've introduced like 8 or 9 players into the first team this season that are young but are undoubtedly quality. And like, if we're not going to win the gear, if we're not going to get the gear, we're not going to win the league, then at least we're doing it for a reason. It's not just because we're trash. It's because we're playing a load of kids and we're introducing them to the league first, the senior football for the first time. And that's the absolute case with Dragon. Dragon's an outstanding goalkeeper. He's going to be a good goalkeeper, whether that's for us or whether that's for someone else. I want it to be with us. Hopefully at some point we move Tanner on to Europe, where he absolutely belongs. I saw reports of over the off season about Malagong being linked with Crystal Palace. Well, they should be linked with Tala. Tala Rangel should be going to Europe, and hopefully he does at some point soon. And then when he does, I'm hoping Dragon's going to be there to ready to take his place and do as well, or if not better than Tala, in the time that Tala's been our first team goalkeeper. It took Tala a couple of games, maybe a season, to get really established as our number one. It's going to take Dragon the same, in my opinion. I think hopefully Dragon impressed the fans. I think he made some outstanding saves. If it wasn't for him, it would be 4 or 5 goals that would have conceded. That goes for the whole of the youngsters that we're introducing in this season. They are going to cost us points, but hopefully, we establish them and develop them into top quality players, and then we can move forward and win stuff with them eventually. But anyway, I've ranted on too much now, guys. Let me know what you thought of the game, what you thought of the players, Dragon in particular, the whole striker situation. Hopefully Polito's back soon, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, let me know about KCAL as well, and we'll have to talk about that as well. So yeah, anyway, guys, have a really good week. I'm going to try and have a really good week, and despite the loss, I look forward to the Tigos game because it's always a good game at least. So yeah, anyway, guys, have a good week, and I'll see you guys very soon. Adios.